Let's take a look at creating some content from scratch on the Banner CMS software. Today, we are going to create new content using the Banner editor. Let's get started by clicking on the Create icon. And once we are in there, we can click on the Editor icon. The first thing it is going to ask is to name our new file. Be sure to give the file a unique name. If we give it the same name as another message that you've already created, then when we try to save the file, it will error out. So make sure that this is a unique file name. I'm going to call this message Pizza Sale. And of course, we need to make sure that we are selected on our sign size. Then click the Create button. And now we are inside the editor. There are a few buttons or icons worth mentioning here. Across the top, there are a few zoom options. These will affect the size of your preview window. We are just going to leave that alone for now. On the right, you will see the Preview, New Message, and the Save buttons. Over on the left-hand side are the creation tools. Using these icons, we can add pictures, text, time, weather, and even link to the Creative Engine to create messages. In this video, we are going to focus on the top icons and save the Creative Engine for another video. If you are interested in using the Creative Engine, as it is a very powerful and easy to use content creation tool, please check out our training video for the Creative Engine. To get started, I always like to begin a new message with my background. I'm going to click on the background icon, which will then allow us to import an image from our computer. However, if you want to just use a solid color, just close out of this import window by clicking the X in the upper right hand corner. Then you can click on the background icon that appears in the upper right hand side, and it will then allow you to select any color you like. However, I want to use an image that I downloaded from the internet, so let's click on the background icon again on the left side of the screen to import my file. You just click on the Upload Your File button and browse to where you saved your file on your computer. I am bringing in this texture JPEG. Go ahead and select the file and click Open, and it will import your file right into the Banner software. Now select the file we imported and click on the Add Content. As you can see, Banner will scale the image to fit our message size. Next, we need to set the duration of our message. Here we are telling the software how long we want this message to hold out on the sign. I'm going to put 8 seconds on this one. Now comes the time to add our text and any other graphic elements that we want on this message. I want to start by adding a logo to this. To add a logo that will go on top of the background, just click on the Add Image icon. Again, click on the Upload Your File, then browse to your logo. I'm going to use this logo.png file. And there it is. Select it and click on Add Content. Now, once our logo is in our message, we can resize it if we want by clicking on the corner and dragging that corner up or down. Then, we can click in the middle of it and move it around. I actually want to keep the logo big, so I'm going to size it up and move it over to the edge of my message. Let's put in some text. We're going to click on the Add Text icon. Here is our text right here. Let's move it over so we can see what we're doing. We can edit the text by double-clicking on it. Now we can type whatever we want. Let's see, how about lunch special? That really doesn't look very good just yet, so let's work on some of the text properties such as color, size, and font. To adjust the text properties, go ahead and click on the text icon on the right over here. As you can see, there are a lot of ways to affect the text. Let's change the color to a dark red. I want to change the font to look a little bit different. I'm going to select Permanent Marker because it looks like a handwritten font, but it still reads well on LED signs. I am also going to add a stroke. Sometimes adding a stroke will really help text stand out and make it easier to read. There are 2 ways to adjust your font size. You can do it right here by selecting this drop-down, or you can go back to your layers by clicking on the Layers icon. Select your text, and then grab one of the corners and drag it out. Let's add some more text by doing the same thing. Click on the Add Text icon again. Double-click on the text to edit it. I'm going to have it say pizza and drink. can again come into our properties and change the color to a dark red. And add a white stroke. For this text, I want something a little more blocky and bold. There are a few preloaded fonts to choose from here. These fonts have been specifically chosen because they cover a wide range of styles, yet all of them work well and are very easy to read on LED signs. I'm going to go with the Lézard because that font is incredibly visible and is really bold. Let's move this under our lunch special and make it a bit larger. And now the last bit of text. Click the Add Text icon again, double click to edit. Put in a price right here. $4.99. Again, let's change the color and put a stroke on it. And I'm going to go with the same nice boldy font for this text. Let's move that over to the bottom and make it bigger. Because this text is so much bigger, if we want the stroke to stand out a bit more, we can go back into our properties and bump the size of the stroke up just a bit. As you can see, it really makes that text pop out quite a bit more. We can go back into any of our text layers here and make changes if we want to. For example, I can take pizza and drink and make it 2 lines instead of just 1, if I like the way that looks better than the way it was. Once you have it looking the way you like, just click on the Save icon on the right. Now, when we go back to our content library, we can see that it now has our background and logo, but it also has the new message we created right here. We can go back and make changes to this message by clicking on this Edit button. The software will then reload our message right back into the editor. Let's go back and create a new message using some of the other tools available in the editor. For this message, I'm going to create a time and temperature message. I want to use a video background for this message instead of a still image. The Add Background icon only allows images, so in order to bring in a video background, we are going to need to use the Add Image icon. So let's click the Add Image icon and then upload your file. Here is my time temp video. I'm going to select that and click Open. It doesn't appear to have loaded, but if you click on the videos icon on the right, you will see there it is. I'm going to select it and click on the Add Content. If you look closely, you can see that the clouds move in the background, and the sun rays are also moving. This also has a placeholder for both the time and temperature, so that those values are easy to read. Now let's add the actual time and temperature. To add these elements, it is these 2 icons right here. Let's click on the time. If something is not turning out how you like it and you want to remove it, you can either click the trash icon over here, or you can click on the other trash icon on the other side of the screen, and whatever layer you are selected on will be removed. I'm going to go ahead and move this time element so that it fits in this first placeholder. I'm going to scale it up a little bit, and of course, so that we can read it, I'm going to go into my text properties and change the color to white. Much better. Now, if you ever want to change how the time is displayed or its formatting, you have a few options. If you select the Time Format drop-down, you will see some of the options that are available. For example, if you wanted to change this to military time, you would just select the hours, minutes without the AM, PM on the end. So you can see now that it is displaying in military time. You can have it display seconds as well, but I like how it was, so I'm going to change that back. For the temperature, it is pretty much the same thing, but you're going to click on the weather icon. Let's move that to our second placeholder. Now, it is not 99 degrees where I'm at right now, but the software uses the 99 as a placeholder. When this goes out and plays on the sign, it will replace the 99 with the actual current temperature. I'm going to change this to white as well. For the formatting options, you can have this display in Celsius or Fahrenheit. I am just going to keep it at Fahrenheit. Once you have it the way you want, go ahead and click the Save button. Now we have a time and temp message ready to play on the sign. Let's go back, and sure enough, there it is. Again, we can always go back in and make changes by clicking the Edit button. Let's create one more message with some text animation in it. I'm going to call this file 25% off. Again, I want to bring in a video background. Now, this video was downloaded to my computer from our stock media library. We show you how to download these in another video. Let's let that load. Now we can select it. Now this video is 18 seconds long, but for the first 9 seconds it is just blank, so that we can add our own text right on top of it. The last 9 seconds of the animation has a 25% off, so we are going to animate our text on, and then we have to have it animate off before the starburst comes on. Let's add our first layer of text. And we're going to need to change that to white so we can see it. I'm going to put in winter coat. Before I put in the second line of text, I'm going to change the font to a big blocky font. And let's make this text much larger. Now we can create some motion to the text by selecting an appear and a disappear effect. As you can see, there are a few effects that you can choose from. I'm going to select slide down for both of my disappear and appear effects. And because I know that the background starts black, I'm going to put my appear start time at 1 second. This means that the background will play for 1 second before my first layer here will slide down. On the disappear, I want the background to play for about 8 seconds before it slides off. Remember that starburst comes on around 9 seconds. Now that I think about it, let's add a half a second to each of these. That way, when we create the second line of text, one line can come on before the other. Now, let's add the second line of text. And let's make that white as well. I'm going to change it to say sail, and change the font so that it stands out and makes it easy to read on a sign. Let's scale this up so it's really big. Because I want the second layer to come on first, I will set the appear start time at 1 second. I also want it to come off first, so I will put the disappear start time at 8 seconds. If we time it like this, we will prevent the two lines from overlapping each other as they transition on and off. So you can see that line 2 will transition half a second before the first line of text. And that should look pretty good on the sign. Let's go ahead and save this really quick. If you want to preview what that is going to look like, you can just click on the preview button up at the top. Our text drops on, first line 2, then right behind it, line 1. Now it is going to hold, and it should drop here in just a second, just in time to see the 25% pop up. Once you are done, you can always go back and preview a message by going to the content library and clicking on the edit button. It will then pull up our existing animation, and we can then hit the preview button or make any necessary changes to this message. And that's it! There are, of course, many different ways that you can animate using the appear and disappear effects, and using different backgrounds, but that is the basics to using the Banner CMS editor.